Dear students, in this video we are going to discuss the electric field at a point due to an electric dipole. In this we have actually two cases. Out of them I am considering the first case, that is if the point is taken on the axial line. If the point where that electric field has to be identified or found, that point is taken on the axial line of the dipole. Okay, now let us consider the relevant diagram related to this concept. Let me first explain the whole diagram. Here at point A we have taken a positive charge plus Q, and at point B we have taken the negative charge minus Q, which are equal in magnitude and separated by a small distance. So this setup of plus Q and minus Q makes the dipole. Now note down the exact midpoint of the dipole, that is denoted by O, and the length of the charge plus Q from this O is A, whereas length of the charge minus Q from the center is again A. Okay, now consider the axial line XY which passes through both charges, and on the axial line itself we have taken a point P where we need to actually calculate the electric field, and this point P is present at a distance of R from the dipole center. Hope you got the diagram clear. Now in the examination if they ask the question, then you need to write all this explanation at the beginning of the concept. Now let me explain the whole concept or the procedure what we are going to adopt in the discussion of the electric field. See, first what we do, we consider the electric field at point P due to the first charge, that is minus Q, and also we consider the electric field due to the second charge, that is plus Q. With the help of those electric fields we are going to consider the resultant electric field, and then finally we find the resultant electric field. For that, let us consider the distance which is present between the charge minus Q and the point P where the electric field has to be found. So that distance BP which is present between minus Q and the point P, it is given by one simple relationship, that is OP minus BO or OB. So here this BP is nothing but R minus A. As OP is R and BO is A, we have substituted those values and found the value of the length BP. So call it as 1. Similarly, we have to find the distance between the point P and the second charge, that is plus Q, and that distance is nothing but AP, which is given by the sum of two distances. One is OP and another one is AO. So it is OP plus AO. Now OP is R and AO is A. Hence the length AP is R plus A. Now call it as the result 2. Okay. Now let us focus on the main concept. See, if I have to calculate the electric field at the point P, then I have to imagine a unit positive charge or the test charge at the point P. Okay. Now if I imagine or if I consider a test charge at the point P, then this test charge experiences the force due to the two charges of the dipole, because this test charge comes under the electric field created by the dipole. Now if you consider the charge minus Q, then the force experienced by the test charge will be an attractive force, because test charge is always a unit positive charge. So the force will be attractive force, and that force will be acting towards the charge minus Q. Now we know that the direction in which the charge experiences the force, in the same direction there will be the electric field and hence that electric field is written as E1. So E1 is the electric field at the point P due to the charge minus Q. Therefore, this E1, which is nothing but the electric field at point P due to the charge minus Q, is given by a well-known equation, that is E1 is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by the distance between negative charge and the point P, and that distance is nothing but Bp square. Okay, distance square. And we know what is the value of Bp, which is taken from the equation 1. It is Q divided by R minus A whole square. Now let us consider this result as result 3. In the same way, we consider the positive charge. Now, if you consider the positive charge, with respect to positive charge, this test charge, that is unit positive charge, it experiences the repulsive force. As both are of the same polarity, it experiences the repulsive force. The electric field at point P due to the charge plus Q will be in the direction of the force experienced by the test charge due to plus Q, right? Therefore, the electric field due to the positive charge is given in this particular direction. It is away from point P. This electric field, again we can write it as E2 is the electric field at P due to the charge plus Q is given by, it can be given by one equation, and of course we know that equation, that is E2 is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into magnitude of the charge divided by distance between the positive charge and the point P. It is nothing but AP or AP square, square of the distance. From the equation 2, we know that AP is R plus A. Hence the equation becomes 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by R plus A whole square. This is the electric field at point P due to the positive charge. Call this as the result 4. So therefore, observe the result 3 as well as the result 4. In the diagram, these two electric fields, they are in the opposite direction to each other, and we know that electric field is a vector quantity. Hence, the resultant electric field at point P has to be taken by considering the difference between these two. Why we need to consider the difference between these two? Because they are in the opposite direction. Therefore, if E is the resultant electric field or the net electric field at the point P, then it is given by E is equal to E1 difference E2. It is the difference between the two electric fields. Now we have to subtract the equations of E1 and E2. Among E1 and E2, when we observe the two equations E1 and E2, we come to know that the denominator of E1 is less, whereas the denominator of E2 is more. Therefore, the value of E1 will be more than the value of E2. Magnitude of E1 will be more than the magnitude of E2. Hence, we can write E is equal to E1 minus E2. Hence, substitute the values from 3 and 4. It is 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by R minus A whole square minus 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by R plus A whole square, which is taken from the equation 4. Now here in both these terms, Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught is common. If you take the common out, then R minus A whole square minus 1 divided by R plus A whole square will remain in the bracket. Just you take the LCM of the denominators right? And keep this q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught as it is. If you take the LCM, then the LCM is r minus a whole square into r plus a whole square. Now this 1 will be multiplied by the denominator, hence it is r minus r plus a whole square minus again r minus a whole square. Okay, now you simplify. See, it is q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught is kept as it is. You need not change it, and the denominator can be written as, r plus a into r minus a whole square, right? As both are having the squares, we have taken the whole square for this, and here in the numerator we have to apply the identity a plus b whole square. It will be r square plus a square plus 2ar, and if minus sign is multiplied by applying the a minus b whole square identity, then again we get r square minus a square plus 2ar. So in this r square and minus r square, a square and minus a square are cancelled, and finally we get E is equal to q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into, in the bracket we can take this 2ar is added with 2ar, then it is 4 times of ar divided by, see, it is in the form of a plus b into a minus b identity, hence it can be written in the form of a square minus b square. Therefore it is r square minus a square whole square. Whole square is kept as it is. Okay, now it can be further simplified as 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, and q is associated with the term, that is 4 aq into r whole divided by r square minus a square whole square. At this stage we have to make one consideration, that is, if you look at the given diagram, or if you consider the situation here, the distance of the point P from the center of the dipole will be, this distance will be, it is much more greater than the distance that is 2a, or the distance that is a. Okay, so therefore 2a is a very small distance, whereas r is a larger distance which can be taken according to our will and wish. So therefore a will be very, very small compared to r. In this result we can neglect the a that has to be written. Here a is very small compared to r, hence it is neglected in the denominator of the above equation. Hence we get E is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into this 4aq into r is kept as it is, whereas here a is neglected. If a is neglected, this whole term becomes absent. Only r square whole square will be left, which is nothing but r raised to 4. Now 1 r will be cancelled from the numerator and denominator, hence the equation reduces to E is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught into 4aq divided by r cube. So it is one of the very important result what we got in the discussion. So this equation, it represents the electric field or net electric field at point P due to an electric dipole. This is your final equation. Now here we can make some small change, that is, if we want to consider the dipole moment, then the 4aq it can be splitted and the dipole moment can be brought into picture. So it can be written as, see, it can be written as 2aq into 2. Okay, so what is 2aq? 2aq is the dipole moment. We know this that 2aq is the dipole moment. Hence, if you want to consider the net electric field along with the dipole moment, then it will become 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2p divided by r cube. 2p divided by r cube. Okay. This is the final equation related to net electric field at a point on the axial line due to a dipole. And with this equation, we come to know that the net electric field, it depends upon the two factors. One is the dipole moment and another one is the distance of the point from the center of the. With this discussion and explanation, I think the derivation of the equation of electric field due to a dipole at a point on the axial line is clear to you. Hope you enjoyed the class and got the information. See you with another video in future. Bye.